but it seems like a little bit different emotion than after the last one, obviously a different fight. So I guess just tell me, just, you know, how do you feel at this moment?
Well, this one was better than the first one, huh? Like, yeah, I thought I did enough. Breaking it down, I think I lost the first round. And I put myself back together. I think I beat him to every punch. I got takedowns. Thought I did enough. But it is what it is. You know, that's how, you know, work goes in the office. So I'm going to go back, evolve some more, get better, like fine-tune the things that I've been working on and come back a better man. Honestly, though, at the moment, Izzy was my biggest obstacle, right? He was my biggest hurdle. He beat me in a good fashion the first time. So I've been working and angling myself to evolve and to get better, and I've done that. And you can see in this fight I just had with him how much I've come, to the point where I think I beat him. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. The ceiling is nowhere in sight. There is no ceiling for me, I don't believe.
All the focus, of course, was on how much you changed and how you evolved and what you would do differently. As far as what you saw on the other side of the cage, I mean, how much different did you think he was, and were there any surprises in there tonight?
No, I wasn't really surprised too much. He's a good fighter. Like, props where they're due. He's a very good fighter, and he's going to... Honestly, I don't see anybody else getting close to beating him. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's got good eyes, he's got good timing, and his physical makeup just make him dangerous. You know, he's been gifted with a good set. But honestly, I thought he looked very beatable. I thought I beat him. I thought I did enough. I got inside his reach. I beat him to every punch, beat him every time. He didn't land anything that really hurt me, bar that one shot in the first. And but yeah, you know.
You guys had some tense moments, you know, over the past couple of years, but it looked like there was a lot of respect between you guys at the end. Can you share just kind of what the exchange was between you?
Yeah, no, I have. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want this popping up in a highlight reel, screaming Rob Kinchin won, blah 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 blah. I'm not taking anything away from him. He won. He literally won. He's got the belt. That's how it works. The judges gave it to him. That's the game. That's the business. I have nothing but respect for his skill set, and I'm proud of myself for getting back on the horse after that first loss, putting myself together the way I did, and getting back in there and taking it to him again. You know, I don't think there are a lot of people that could have done that. And like I said, I do think I did enough. But the grudge is gone. You could see that in the media leading up. The grudge is gone. I'm nothing but happy for him. He's doing his thing. He's stayed through with it. Yeah, you know, in another life we might have been mates. It seems we like a lot of the same stuff. But fortunately, we're on the other side of the fence at the moment.
Last thing for me, obviously it's good to see you in a better place than after the last one. I just want to go back and what will be the goal? Is it I got to go back and work to get a third fight with him, or is it, you know, I start putting my eyes on other goals and different things that you want to accomplish? Like, what will be the driving goal moving forward?
Oh, pottery. No. I guess the third. Honestly, a third fight between me and Izzy is inevitable. It's inevitable because I'm gonna stomp anybody who comes in front of me, and he knows that too. That's why he said I'll see him in the future. And I don't see him losing the belt anytime soon. He's good. He is good. I think I am the person to beat him. And yeah, my mission stays the same. Beat the next guy in front of me. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna spend some time with kids.
Come on, bro.
Enjoy my Christmas and New Year's that was taken from me for use. But and then get back in the gym and do what I do. It's a great team. Get Gracie Smith and Grange. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna get back to work. Get back to doing what I do, and then just beat the next guy, and then the next guy, and the next guy. Until eventually I'm at the top of the pile once again. Still at the top of the pile, really. But I want to be higher. You know what I mean? You guys get it. Come on.
Reflecting on your last fight, you said you felt unsatisfied. Now I know you wanted to win this fight, but now that it is over, you said you wanted to feel satisfied winning. So are you satisfied?
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, I'm pretty good. Like I'm gutted. I don't have a new shiny belt to hold up my pants. Right, I'm gutted. But I'm satisfied. I gave a good account of myself. I don't want to keep saying I think I thought I won. I thought I did enough. Okay, this is the last time I'm going to say it. But because of that, because of the way I feel, I'm satisfied. Just that I left it all there. That I gave everything to those 25 minutes for myself and for everybody else, for my fans. And I think the fans, the crowd loved it. I hear it from them. They loved it. And I know I'm checking the phone. I got a lot of messages saying they loved it. It was a good fight to watch. It was a good fight to watch. Let me tell you, it was very strategic and tactical. I don't know if you could tell, not being in there, but yeah, I had to pick my moments. It is what it is. This is a game not for the faint-hearted.
I know you went through a lot of training for this fight, and you just said a second ago that you got it. I know it stings, but how can you still just sit here and just laugh about it? Where did that come from?
I guess, let's be honest, it's much better than the first time, right? Like I said, I left it all there, guys. I did my absolute best, and that's honestly my goal. My goal with fighting is never to get in there and just win. I want to win. I want to win. My goal is to get into the octagon, and give everything I have to give. Because normally that means I win. Okay, and that's all I want to do. I want to get in there and I want to give an account of myself. I want to get in there and leave it all there because this is what I do. I'm a gladiator and I fight for a living and I fight to put bread on the table for my kids. And Daddy's done that. Right?
It's always weird to watch a young fighter start to come into his own.
Rob, in the lead up to the fight, you mentioned that you hadn't really rewatched your first fight with Israel, or at least hadn't rewatched it in a very long time. Do you think this one will be different? Is this one that you'll revisit pretty soon?
I'm going to be honest with you, I've never seen that fight, the first one. I said a little bit because I didn't want anyone to know I haven't seen it. In case what happened again, and they're like, well, you should have watched the fucking first one. Okay, I don't, but to be fair, I don't watch most of my fights back. Know what happens. Actually, no, I lie, because my dad likes watching them back, and if I'm around when he's watching it, I peruse it then too. So, yeah, I may watch it back. Yeah, I may watch it back. It's there's a lot of things to dissect from the fight. It's still fresh. There's a lot of things. Obviously, we're going to take away from the fight and work on. I have a great team. As you can see, the game we executed the second time round was much, much more effective than the first time. And
I was like, okay.
We made a good account of ourselves. What we're going to do is we're going to do it again, perfect the version and come back.
Just one more for me. Going into the fight, your head grappling coach, Alex, said, well, obviously he said that he thought you would win, but he also said this would be a completely different fight than the first one. It certainly looked that way to us. Were you able to do all the things that you and he had worked on together? Were you able to bring out all the wrinkles?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think we worked pretty diligently on a game plan throughout the camp, me and my team here at Crazy Cement Ranch, and we worked very hard, and you can see the first round had a bit of a rough start, but from 2 and onwards, the game was executed. I beat him to the punch, I landed takedowns, and yeah, I thought I was hurting him. I was hurting him and I was beating him to the punch. Yeah, the game plan worked. The game plan worked very well. I couldn't be more happy. All that's left is just to make it better and stomp the next fight.
Rob,
according to Dana, it looks as though Cannoneer is up next for the title shot. You beat him pretty decisively last time you guys fought. Do you have any thoughts on that fight?
Cannoneer and Adesanya?
And Adesanya, yes.
Adesanya's going to be a hard fight for him. Anyway, he's just, he's good. He's very, very good. Cannoneer, I think though, he's tough. You can see in his fights, you have to drag him out of that octagon dead to take him out of there, to win. Or like to get him out of there, I should say. He's going to go out on his shield. And, but Adesanya can play the game for 5 rounds. He's very good at distance fighting. He's fast. He's smart. I don't know. I like Cannoneer. I don't want to bet against him.
Rob,
That'd be a good fight.
given the gap you said is between you and Izzy and the rest of the field, do you think it'll take 4 fights to pull you back?
Hopefully it'll be quicker than that, right? I guess like there's obvious people I got to fight first. The people who I haven't already beaten in the top 10. And then surely that puts me in another position to fight for the title, especially considering how close this one is. Let's be honest, there aren't a lot of people in the top 10 that I haven't had it over. Right? So, I don't know. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm more thinking about going home to my family and just cruising on Christmas for a little bit, and then getting back to the drawing board with the team. And next fight's next fight.
Keeps going back to that jab, throwing that jab, but unable to hit. Israel Adesanya's kick to the right here. That one appeared to be blocked. Oh man, that's a good watch. Another leg kick lands flush. You're the opponent at this point in time. You gotta check something. What are you doing? You gotta adjust.
You gotta be doing something different, because to this point, what you're doing is not working. Get close, fight chest to chest, maybe relax on the outside. Don't panic, don't be jumping. Try to find comfort in knowing that you've done this. You have the reps, you know how to check this. Just take your time, be comfortable, get that leg up. It's only gonna take one great check to make him stop doing that. Big kick lands.
Let's go, baby.
All right, next round is now underway. Hopefully the action continues at a high level. Pretty good first 5 minutes.
Pretty good first 5 minutes. Both of them can really pick it up. Let's see who decides they're going to lead the dance as we go forward.
Well, just as he did in the previous round.
Oh. No way. No way. He gets there. Oh, shit. Come on, Izzy.
Off of his back here. Looks like he may try
Oh.
to escape. It's a straight down from the front. Nice work there by Adesanya. All right, a good ground and pound by him here. Certainly staying busy, and not just busy, but effective.
You can just throw punches to keep the referee off. This guy is throwing punches to be effective, to throw damage.
Bro, he did not make a transition at all, bro. That was a waste of a takedown. Come on, worry, Izzy. No. Eso. Damn. Ooh. So let's get this money, baby.
Israel, congratulations on the victory. I know you're always heavily critical of yourself, but as you sit there right now, how do you feel about your performance this season?
7 out of 10. Not bad. Good night in office. Good chess match.
What changed? I mean, obviously, all the conversation about this is what the adjustments would be, and how much different he would be, and what he would be able to accomplish. I mean, what did you see in there versus what you expected?
I caught it with the fade. That was bad. Oh my god, that was bad.
Being in there with him before. I don't know. People I feel like they have like goldfish memories, and when they're in there with me, they realize like, oh shit, it's not as easy as I thought. Yeah, they just have to revert back to what they know.
On two of the judges' scorecards, he won the final 2 rounds. So I'm curious, kind of.
He won the final 2 rounds.
Yes. Okay. So I'm just curious, I mean, did you feel that he was gaining some momentum or gaining some steam? Did you feel it was being more problematic as a
Oh
fighter?
man.
Nope, not really.
Strong.
There was one point he was circling on the outskirts of the octagon, and I was
Woohoo!
cutting him off, and I was like, that's my trick. And I said it to him, I know that trick, that's mine. I just went back to the center of the octagon, and went back to work, established the middle.
You guys had a nice exchange afterwards. Obviously, there's been tension between you two guys along the way. I'm just curious if you share kind of what was shared between you two in there.
I said, I don't like you, you don't like me.
That was a short ass cross. He didn't even extend his hand, bro. What is wrong with this game?
Yeah, we're just two guys trying to be the best in the world. But tonight I'm the best in the world.
He believes the third fight's inevitable. Do you see that in your future?
I said maybe. I said you rack up some good wins, and I'm sure I'll see you down the line. I say that to kind of like just, pat him on the butt. Just, good job, kid. But we'll see. I mean, the division's filled with killers. It's filled with killers, but I'm looking forward to fresh meat.
You mentioned Jared Cannonier's name as potentially that fresh meat. I'm curious, how much did you get to watch? I mean, obviously you're prepping, getting ready. So were you
Oh my god, I'm fucking up, bro.
Close detail. I just saw bits and
Bro, that shit fucked me up, bro.
saw he got taken down, then he elbowed Brunson, so I didn't really take stock. I'll go back and watch the fight later on. Just see what it is. But he made a statement, and I even told him after the weigh-in, not the ceremonial, was the official weigh-in. I said, "Look, please take this guy out so I can get some fresh meat." He said, "Bro, I'm trying to work on my game too." So I'm a man of my word.
Last thing for me, I mean, you say it's a 7 out of 10, but it is another title defense. It's another victory.
Let me just. This is my 5th title defense. I don't know why people keep saying it's my 4th. It's my 5th because it just makes no sense. I was the interim champion. I still have that interim belt. And in the interim, I'm the champion. If he beat me at UFC 243, that would have counted as a defense of his belt. So when I beat him, that's not just unifying the belt. That counts as a defense for my belt because I haven't updated all the rubies. I still have 2 rubies. I need to update them to like 5 or whatever it is. But yeah, stop saying 4 title defense. That's my 5th title defense. Put some fucking respect on my shit.
Fair enough. I guess I just wanted to ask you what the vision is now, right? I mean, you got this new contract in hand, and I know that you're always kind of looking towards the future. I mean, what is it that you want to accomplish now in this next phase of your career?
I wasn't really looking past Robert. I took him very seriously, and yeah, right all the way to the last bell.
Oh, that's bad.
It was dangerous. He caught me slipping one time, and I was like, good one, because I was really aware of it on the clinch. When we break away from the clinch, he was gonna hit me, and he caught me one on this side, and I was like, good one. I acknowledged it. But yeah, I had fun in there. I just want to watch it back and just study that fight. But yeah, I look forward to fresh meat.
Right here. People online said you looked physically bigger than your previous fight against him. You put on more muscle. Did you feel like a bigger sense of strength in there from your previous fights?
Yeah. Is that Booker T?
It is.
5-time UFC fucking champion. I was like, is that Booker T? What the fuck? Holy shit. Sorry, just being a fan. No. The fuck is he doing?
It's City.
Oh shit. My man. Respect to you, bro.
Yo, that is Booker T. What the fuck?
Yeah, my boy Chance. He got me swole during
Here comes the money. Here we go.
pretty much home prison workouts.
Here comes the
every
money,
day, and
money.
That's where the whole narrative of fuck the noise came from, because everything in New Zealand was
Wait.
just rah, rah, rah,
Come
rah,
on,
rah,
bro.
accredited press only, and I was like, fuck the noise, just work. Let's just work. So yeah.
Like, bro.
I know you said you like fresh meat. Another fighter, not your group, named Hamzat's been tweeting at you for this fight.
Has he?
He said, "Easy money for me, 0 wrestling, 1 round. I'm gonna kill him."
Okay.
You just mentioned there about the noise in New Zealand. I saw you share something to your story about how much New Zealand will be mentioned tonight with you and your teammates. I think maybe that your performance tonight and the fact that you guys are being here to represent your country should perhaps tell some people in your country that you guys should be considered athletes of that country.
It's the most stupid. I put something in my story this morning that my coach, Suns, put up. I don't want to fuck it up, but he pretty much just had like the stats of, we've got 3 fighters from Auckland, New Zealand fighting tonight, and we're representing the country, right? And the reach that UFC has, how many countries this is going to be viewed in throughout the world. And yet, when we're doing great, they want to pat us on the back and try and piggyback on what we're doing. But then when they had the chance to shaft us, that's why what they did to Dan Hooker, that still pisses me off. I don't want to give him too much time, because fuck the cunt anyway. But yeah, we're self-funded, self-made. We never had any handouts from the government. We've done this shit
Oh, that's
ourselves.
bad.
We don't need them.
One of the stories going into this fight was, the grappling. Look what happened in the Yan fight. Rob can change his tactics and use his grappling. You said you were looking forward to those moments where he would clinch with you. Are you happy that you got the opportunity to show your own defense?
Yeah, but I wanted to show more offense. I just have to watch this fight back. It's always not as accurate.
Bro, he's so pussy. Bad.
Yes, my infamous time to myself just to reflect, because everything is so much stimulus. Everyone's coming at you and this and that and drag you in this way. So I need my time to myself to kind of soak this all in and just like really see it for what it was. But yeah, I did well. It was a good chess match. I don't know. I heard he thought he won the fight or some shit. I don't know what he and Victoria was sipping on to think maybe it was Costa's wine. I don't know, but fucking hell. He did not win that fight, and he knows it. But yeah, same thing. He needs to go have a shower as well and reflect and realize that that's not true.
He did say back here that he did feel he'd done enough to win the title.
You don't do enough to win the title. You take the belt. This is not how this works. I did enough. No.
He also said that he thinks you and him are essentially on another level to the rest of the division. I'm curious if you agree with that assessment.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a few steps below me as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Izzy at the back of it. Alright, thank you. Izzy, one of the things I've noticed and admired.
Why is it throwing a body kick, bro? Oh my. First the straight, now it's a fucking body kick, bro. I'm not doing that, bro.
In an industry where most men are trying to flex their masculinity. And it's a pretty refreshing juxtaposition. So I wonder, have you always had that courage, or did you get it from the principles of fighting?
I think it's just no. I mean, doing things like this in the all-boys school, you get fucking beat up, you get fucked up for being weird and different. But yeah, I don't know. Who's gonna tell me shit? You gonna diss me about my nails? You gonna diss me about my pearls? Or what? Like, I don't care. And also, no one can tell me shit. There's a meme I saw one time with Jackie Chan. He was dressed all weird and said like, no one can tell you how to dress when no one can beat your ass. So, yeah, I'm just authentically me, and if people like it, they do. If they don't, oh well, they're gonna keep watching. All it is, look, it's attention as the currency. You're not gonna pay money to watch my pay-per-views, cool, but you're gonna pay attention. You're gonna be on my social media running up numbers, and that all helps. So yeah, you ain't gonna pay money, but you're gonna pay attention.
Izzy over here. You're making this look easy, wrapping the middleweight division. Do you think going back up to light heavyweight is in the cards for you?
Later on down the track, but right now, I like fresh meat at middleweight, and I'm glad I have a new contender, Jared Cannonier. So I look forward to June. I'm thinking June for that one. I know it's not just me; it's me and my coaches, and yeah, but I'm sure they'll agree. June, you can take that out.
Congrats, champ.
Thank you.
Do you already feel like
obviously signed this massive new deal during the week. Congratulations on that and congratulations on tonight. But do you already feel like you might be underpaid after tonight's performance?
Underpaid.
Yeah.
No, like I signed this bout agreement on Monday. So, and I don't know this narrative of like, they just gave me a new deal because of what was happening with Francis. I'm like, no. My dealings with the UFC don't need to be brought forth because every case is different. With Francis's case, that he needed to bring that forward because it was atrocious, and I respect him for that. And like I said, this is the first step, you know. Dana already said they had dinner with him before they went back to Cameroon. They're gonna have dinner when they come back. So yeah, people make mistakes. You know, the UFC is filled with humans. Humans make mistakes, human error. But we can always amend those mistakes. And honestly, rising tides lifts all the ships. And with this, I feel like it's the first step in this trickle-down effect to the rest of the fighters and lifting everyone up. I'm not saying like pay the debutants some crazy money. I'm just like, nah, pay them enough to be able to, you know, train, feed their family, and actually not have a second or third job. You know, because we're UFC fighters. I love this company. I've been wanting to be part of this company. You saw my post when I was here in the same fucking arena 7 years ago for UFC 192, practicing on the scale before I got yelled at. I've wanted to be here for so long. So yeah, now that I'm here, I'm fortunate to be in the position that I'm in to sign this new deal, but you know, the UFC is gonna do right. I feel like this is the first step. Francis started it off, and you know, I'm getting my, you know, my dues as well. But trust me, it wasn't just handed to me. My team at Paradigm and also AP Sports Management, we fight for what we have. You know, it's just not brought to the media, so you guys can go write headlines about it. We fight for what we have, and I feel like this is going to trickle down to the rest of the fighters because, yeah, it's time. It's time.
Next couple of months look like for you? Obviously, you get back into camp for a June fight, end of March, start of April. And what do you do in the next couple of weeks? Do you plan on traveling, maybe going to Africa again?
I can't. I've got a bit of a media tour because I've been away from America for the longest time. So I'm gonna maybe should I tell them? Yeah, fuck them. Yeah, we're gonna do some stuff. We'll be hanging around, and I'll call audibles. I'll see where I want to go.
Hi, Izzy. Over here to your right. You have some of the best fashion in the fight game.
Thank
you.
you.
Have some competition with tomorrow, Usman and Preston Ngannou. How does your fashion stack up against theirs?
It's not a competition. It's just expression. We're just three kings who express ourselves authentically. I like the way Francis comes in with his dashiki. Sometimes, you know, Kamaru comes in with agbada, you know, in his suits. And yeah, you know me, I just drip however I want. Sometimes you might see me with even a lava one day. I'm not even Samoan or Tongan, but I might wear a lava just because I love the way it looks. I saw Ty with one at the press conference, and I thought it looked dope. The black lava, that was beautiful. Yeah, it's not a competition. It's just expression.
I was holding RT the whole time, bro.
I put this whole thing together this week. I just wanted to.
Oh my God, bro! If he gets a knee, bro.
To be different. This fight.
Oh my, the straight in the knee, bro.
My peers.
Oh, he's so.
Just because I'm set apart. You know, I can't just. I've always just been not a company man, but I do. What the
Oh
UFC
my God.
But I just need to let them know, like, I'm different. So I had to express myself to the highest form, and I felt like I did that this fight week. All the drips and the French tips.
Wrestling has always been like the.
Fuck, I'm freaking out. Young Izzy's freaking out, bro.
Wrestling has always been dominant
Yeah.
in mixed martial arts, but you came from a kickboxing background. Do you think you have changed that myth?
Yeah, the thing for me was I had to humble myself years ago and just be like, look, I never want some nerd in a, you know, blue belt in pajamas to be able to beat my ass as a world champion kickboxer. So I humbled myself and I learned grappling, I learned wrestling, and I know how to wrestle, but I don't know what that sound is. I know how to wrestle, but I just haven't had the opportunity to use it yet. In this fight, I thought the opportunity would present itself, but once I kicked his legs a few times and he realized it was compromised, he took it away from me, so I wasn't able to get to that leg like I wanted to, or to his hips. He tried, and I showed my that last takedown. He put everything into it, and somehow I stayed standing because my hips don't lie.
Izzy right here. On Wednesday, we talked about the underrated weapon, that's that left hand, and now we're coming from another fight where you put him down with that same weapon again. Just want you to speak to that underrated weapon.
I need to see it. This is one thing I need to watch the fight, because when he dropped, I was like, did I drop him? Like, that was what I thought in that moment. It's almost like third person. I was like, did he slip or did I drop him? Because it just felt like nothing. I didn't feel like a thud. It felt swift. But Carl told me it was southpaw, straight left down the pipe. And I remember just thinking, all right, cool down, don't rush, because I was gonna rush him, but this is what, if you try that, you might get caught slipping. So you have to respect the guy, and I never underestimated him. I knew, even though I knocked him out in the first fight, he's dangerous. I know how dangerous he is, and like I said to you guys, you know, he ran through everyone until he ran into me. And then he went back and beat 3 other guys, and now he's running to me again. But yeah, I'm no easy feat. I'm no easy feat to, you know, get one over on.
Champ, right here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You say in the press conference
Bro,
that
what the
at some point
fuck, bro?
last year you felt too comfortable, that your rivals were trying to survive instead of really trying to win, and that you were expecting that for this fight things were different. I just wanted to know if you felt that difference tonight.
Yeah, he brought the fight from the start to the finish. I stayed on point. With my last fight in Phoenix, I was never in
This
danger.
boy's a
I was
Nazi,
just like,
bro.
man, this fight, I knew, you know, if I get caught slipping, he's putting me away. I liked his double jabs, and then eventually he turned into a triple jab, and I was like, okay, that's a good change up. But I was still able to get away from it most times. What else? His wrestling was, it was okay. I was never, even when he was on my back, I found it funny. I was kind of like a hunchback. I was like, all the way to my corner. And then I just knew, like, we've done this from 9 a.m. every other day. We literally spent times just, you know, someone on your back, ready to go. And I know the systems to get away from that. So, yeah, I was comfortable in those positions. I'm comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Thank you.
Easy.
Izzy, could I just ask you one? Could I just ask your fellow Nigerian Anthony Joshua going back out for the world heavyweight title against Alexander Usyk? Do you hope that he comes out on top in this sort of 4-person?
I thought he's sitting out.
No, he's not going to sit out anymore. Fury's going to fight
true.
White. And he's going to fight Usyk.
Who's Fury fighting?
Fury's fighting Dillian White. Anthony's
Dillian
fighting
White.
Usyk, and then hopefully the winner of those two fights each other. Do you hope that Anthony becomes the undisputed champion?
Of course, I always look for my people. Anthony, he's a formidable guy. He's run into some, you know, problems with, and Usyk's a phenomenal boxer. Wow, amazing. But yeah, I believe, you know, anyone can beat anyone at any given night. But I always look for my people. Exactly.
Nice job by the fighter here to continue to block the shots this way. You think he's trying to keep fatigue?
I deny that, bro.
So no surprise, he wanted to get this fight to the ground, and that is certainly
He felt as if he had a massive advantage. Now he has a headlock trying to pin his opponent's back.
That's so annoying, bro.
Look from the transition to an arm triangle to try to chase the finish.
All right, so he postures up. Nicely done. And he landed
No. You took me down here, you're gonna pay the price. No, this is not how things go. And you got a Nazi tattoo. No. My God, bro. That's me. Ooh, we slipping punches. Wait.
He's doing a nice job here blocking these shots. The chin is tucked, the hands are high. Pretty good job defensively.
Great job
Okay.
Seeing everything coming.
He's got it good tonight. Beautiful combination of strikes there by Adesanya. Land another jab there. He's certainly using that weapon effectively here tonight.
The most effective weapon in all of boxing, in all of combat sports, is a jab. This young man has a knowledge of using it like no one else.
He blocks the punch. 2 minutes to go in the round.
Ooh.
Well, Adesanya versus Robert Whitaker. I gotta tell you guys, man, I must have had 100 different heart attacks while watching this fight because there were so many freaking close calls. Like, oh my god. But that's not the point of the video. What a fight. What a fight, man. So many changes, so many adjustments made, especially by Robert Whitaker. What an incredible fight. Now, going into the fight, of course, we all know exactly what each fighter wants to do, right? Israel wants to strike because he's the better striker.
Oh, he wasn't fighting. I didn't even know that.
Fights Israel, the goal is how can we negate his striking? And if we can't negate his striking or outstrike him, how can we sprinkle in takedowns in there? How can we ground him and maybe use our grappling to defeat him? Because he is a striker. So because he's a striker, the narrative is his grappling is clearly not as good. So that is like the path to victory. And of course, a vast majority of people that have tried to do that to Izzy, they've all failed besides one, and that is Jan Wahovic. Now, you could say the reason why Jan was successful is because Izzy moved up to a higher weight class. Jan was bigger. Jan was heavier. Jan was also a better grappler. There are a lot of reasons why he was able to ground Israel multiple times and actually almost stop him in the end of the round. And because of that, of course, Rob was looking at that fight and going, yo, there are quite a few things in this fight that I could maybe implement in my own game. And watching the fight, that is exactly what he tried to do. And I found it so interesting. Now, the two things, of course, that Rob picked was be patient and use grappling. He did both. But of course, he still lost. Now, even though he lost, the fight was a better match. It was a much better match. For one, he didn't get KO'd like he got KO'd the first time. He did get dropped in round number 1, but besides that, and besides the leg damage that he was taking, he didn't really get damaged too much in this fight. So that is definitely a plus. It's something that he can tip his hat off to his coaches, his team, the preparation. It's something that he can be proud of. Now, there is something that I find very interesting in regards to Israel, and I've been talking a lot about grappling going into this fight. And a big reason for that is I was watching a podcast, Lex, I forget his last name, but he had a podcast with Gordon Ryan, GSP, and John Danaher. John Danaher is a world-renowned jiu-jitsu coach, head jiu-jitsu coach for George St. Pierre, as well as Gordon Ryan. And in that podcast, GSP was asked about his preparation for the Michael Bisping fight. And he talked about how leading into the fight, they were looking to turn GSP into a finisher, into someone who is a dangerous guy. Because in the past, GSP would take you down, GSP would take his time, he'll work. He wasn't really known as a finisher. But of course, they wanted to figure out a way to make him extremely dangerous. And GSP talks about that the way they did that was by lessening the grappling rounds. Because see, here's what happens in jiu-jitsu. If you train jiu-jitsu, you know this. When you go into class, typically the sparring rounds, the rolling rounds are typically about 5 minutes. That's like the least amount of time you're gonna get to work, 5 minutes. And if the professor or whatever wants you guys to roll longer, he could increase it to about 8 minutes. So you have 5 minutes, and in that 5 minutes, you both typically start right on the ground. You start on the knees, or if we're doing positional training, you start in a specific position. So you're already starting playing jiu-jitsu. But see, that is not the way fighting, especially in MMA, actually works. And so a lot of fighters will train their grappling in the normal grappling way. 5-minute rounds. They start on the feet. They start on the feet, but it's purely grappling. They take each other down and they start to grapple. But what GSP did was, GSP's coach John did was, he reduced the grappling time to about 2 minutes. And what he's doing right there, what he's simulating is he's accounting for the fact that every single fight in MMA starts on the feet. It doesn't start on the ground. When the referee says go, you're both standing. And it takes a while to take a man down, especially a fighter like Israel who has really good takedown defense. It could take you 3 minutes to ground him. And when you do take him down and you have only a couple minutes to work, you better have been training to be urgent with your grappling so that you can do work in a very short amount of time. That means in 2 minutes, because typically it could take up to 3 minutes to take a man down. In 2 minutes, you got to be able to hold the opponent down. As in, you hold them down, you secure position. You figure out a way to get your chest to chest, because to secure position in jiu-jitsu, a lot of times you need chest to chest contact. You got to be able to control the opponent's head and the opponent's hip, and that takes time. So you will need to figure out a way to climb the hip, get some kind of cross face, chest to chest, hold them down, get some kind of lock. And then after that, you got to go to work. Either you're doing ground and pound, or you're cycling through the multiple positions of jiu-jitsu to try to figure out a dominant pin position to do damage with your ground and pound. So that is how GSP and his team trained for Michael Bisping. And you will notice he had that urgency. When he rocked Michael Bisping and Michael Bisping fell, George immediately got on the ground and pound, heavy ground and pound immediately. He had a huge sense of urgency. And then the moment he saw an opportunity to jump on the guillotine, on the rear naked choke, I meant to say, he jumped on it and choked out Michael Bisping. Now, I don't know if this is how Robert Whittaker and his team trained for this fight. Because what I noticed was every single time Rob would take him down, it didn't seem like there was a sense of urgency to hold him down. And something that scared the crap out of me is multiple times when Izzy would get taken down in this fight, he would turn, while trying to get up, he would turn and give his back. He would literally give his back, and Rob was able to get to the back multiple times. He would get the back. At one point, he was able to actually jump on the back. But then a few of the things that like a jiu-jitsu black belt or a seasoned grappler would do to secure a back position, he wasn't doing it, which I found to be so interesting.
I gotta get the pressure on
that
him.
he could have done. Rob is tall enough, like for someone my size, getting the body triangle is not really an option unless I'm facing someone who's way smaller, because my legs are just not long enough to do it. But if you're 6 foot and above, against most people, you will be able to get a body lock triangle on them. Robert Whittaker, I believe, is 6'1". He's either 6'1" or he's 6'2", or maybe let's just say he's 6 foot. That is tall enough for him to get the body triangle on Izzy. And there are multiple times where he had the opportunity to do that. Because if he was to get the back, climb the back, secure the body triangle, now Israel has something serious to deal with. He's got to figure out how to get rid of that body triangle. And if you don't have skill, you're not getting rid of that body triangle. And then when you secure the body triangle, now you secure the back. With the body triangle secured, now you can take your time.
Come on, bro. How many times I'm gonna jab you and you still get that shit off?
If you're using the John Danaher system, for example, you're securing the back, you're trapping one of the arms with both legs, crossing it, and then you're trapping the free hand. So now the opponent literally does not have any hand to defend against a choke, and then you feed it under the neck and walk it, and you can actually finish the choke with just one arm. There are multiple different back attack systems. I don't know what Robert Whittaker's is, but the one thing he wasn't urgently doing was securing the back, as in keeping it tight, because every time he would get to, and dude, I'm gonna tell you guys this, in jiu-jitsu, there is no position more dominant than the back, because from the back, you have all the advantages. There's like one submission that the opponent could hit from the back, if they make a mistake. Like if you cross your legs while you have an opponent's back, you could get leg locked if they know what they're doing from the back. If you have a body triangle and they roll to the correct side, you could also get submitted with that. But for the most part, there are very few submissions that opponents can get you with when you have your back. It's very difficult to strike someone who's on your back, and it's very difficult to get them off if they know what they're doing. So the back, that's why when you take the back in jiu-jitsu, in sport jiu-jitsu, you get 4 points. You get the most points for taking the back because it is the most dominant position you can get. And so for Izzy to be giving up his back the way he was giving it up, and Rob
I
not
like
taking
kicks,
advantage
bro.
of it, as someone like me, bro, it was I had mixed emotions. I was like rooting heavily for Israel to win, so I was kind of happy that Rob was fucking it up, but it was also so like difficult for me to watch him like just miss that over and over and over again. So to me, that is the main story of the fight. That is really the main story of the fight. Because if Rob, when he goes back and he rewatches this one, like it's really gonna sting. It really will sting because he had multiple opportunities to put an end to this one. He had his back, bro. And this is on a night where we had, I believe, 4 different rear naked choke submissions. I mean, one of Izzy's teammates, the one they call Blood Diamond, got choked unconscious when his opponent took his back and got him in a rear naked choke. So this is serious.
I
Getting
can't
your
double up
back
on a
taken
straight
is
with laser
serious
focus.
business. It's not a joke. So for Rob to, oh my
I
god.
can't double up on a straight with laser focus, bro.
Besides that,
That is crazy.
expert level, sophisticated striking from Israel. I mean, it's the same tactic every time right now. If you stand on the outside and you're patient with him, guess what he's going to do? He's going to feint the crap out of you, and he's going to kick the shit out of your legs. And I think it's about time we start talking about Israel being one of the best leg kickers in MMA. Because right now, when someone asks you, what are some of the best leg kickers in MMA, you start to think Justin Gaethje, you think Jose Aldo, you think Edson Barboza. These are really, really good names. But lately we've seen Israel control a whole entire fight with leg kicks. Like he's more than happy to stand on the outside, hip fake you over and over again, and just kick your legs over and over again. And he damaged Rob's legs multiple times. In round 1, he was able to catch him with a beautiful cross from southpaw, which sat him down. But besides that, he didn't drop him again, and Rob was actually able to hit him a few times. So overall, man, fairly competitive fight. It wasn't a wash. No one got finished.
It is pussy, bro.
Damn. If you were to look at the fight and you say, okay, who was the closest to getting finished? Like who found themselves in extremely risky positions? I would say Izzy. Man got his back taken, I believe, 3 times. That ain't good. So my hope is that if he goes back and they're rewatching this fight, man, they're gonna have to fix that. They really do, because if he, for some reason, like if Khamzat Chimaev, let's just say Khamzat Chimaev somehow makes his way, climbs up the ladder, and ends up running into Israel, that is one guy that you do not want to give your back up to. You don't want to do that because it is going to be catastrophic to do that. Anyways, I don't really want to get into who I think won the fight. I didn't judge the fight. I'm just happy Izzy won. But it's very possible that if I go back and rewatch it and actually judge the fight round by round, there's a very good chance that it might be a robbery, like a lot of you guys are saying. Right now, I don't know. Like I said, I'll let you guys discuss that in the comment section. But yeah, what a fight, man. What a fight. And that's the only fight we're talking about today.
Mask mandates are being lifted in certain places now. Maybe the games are over. We'll see how this plays out.
If the world was 100% open right now, let's say this was all done, like how big of a focus is Africa to host that first event?
Yeah, I mean it's as big as anywhere else we want to go. I mean it's been what, 2.5 years now. We've been Vegas, California, New York, Texas 10 times, and Arizona and Florida. So there's a lot of places to go and a lot to do. But yeah, Africa is a big one for me. I definitely want to do Africa. There was a politician here tonight from Hawaii who's saying, you know, we want you guys in Hawaii, which we've never been able to get done. That's a big one for me too. So yeah, there's a lot of places we want to go. But Africa is.
Israel Adesanya.
When I look back on my career, I want to do a fight in Africa.
Nice. I did want to ask you, I know coming in we say, hey, look, there's a lot of options on the table, but Jared Cannonier, emphatic finish. He made sure to get your attention cage side. Yep. He looks like a man that you probably don't want to upset too much. So what do you think? Is this guy the #1 contender?
I was excited to see that fight, to see how it was going to play out. It was an awesome fight, and yeah, I'm not going to say no.
Is that June date that Israel mentioned, does that make sense? Is that too quick?
Listen, that's the other thing that I love about that kid. He wants to fight all the time, so we'll see what happens.
I do want to ask you really quick about a unique character, Roxanne Modafferi, obviously called it an end tonight. I just wanted to ask you kind of your thoughts on her career as a whole, her impact.
I don't know.
I love her. She's a great human being.
No.
You know, she's always tough and durable. She brings it, and she's had a pretty stellar career here at the UFC. So, you know, she lives in Vegas. I'm sure she'll be around, you know, the office still, and we love her. This is her house, so she's welcome there anytime she wants.
Last thing I would ask you to help me notice Joe Rogan.
That could have been bad. I fucked up.
Support. I guess what can you say about his absence? I know there was a line that it was a conflict of schedule, but I don't think many people were buying into that.
There's no conflict of schedule. Joe Rogan didn't work tonight. Joe Rogan could have worked tonight. Rogan.
Did he elect not to?
Yeah. Joe Rogan had. I don't know what Joe Rogan had to do. You guys will have to ask Joe Rogan, but. No, there was no Joe couldn't work or anything like that. I know that came out as total bullshit.
Okay, so you expect him back in March in Vegas?
That's bad.
Whenever he's going to work again, he'll be working, yeah.
Did you announce the bonuses?
I did not. Thank you. Cannonier, Tai Tuivasa, and Andrade fight.
Speaking of Ty, what would you make of his performance in that?
Awesome fight. Awesome fight. I mean, that's another one. You knew, you know, those two were going to get in there once they loosened up and started letting them go. It was going to be an interesting night. Yeah, he looked good. He won. He won the.
He wants you to
won the bonus.
He wants you to do that shooting.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm not getting out of this thing, am I? Yeah. I'll see you in a minute. All right.
Do it on stage then.
I know you spoke highly of Roxanne Modafferi. What do you make of this O'Neal? Undefeated in the UFC, like kind of said she accepted the villain role, said she's the best bad guy. If that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, and Roxanne, you know, the thing about Roxanne is she's very unassuming, you know, but she's a very tough, durable, awkward fighter to fight, and Casey beat her tonight. So, you know, she walked up to me on stage during the weigh-in and said, I'm going to be your next world champion. So I like her attitude. I like the way she fights. She's aggressive. She's tough. We'll see what she does.
Then one more. What do you make of Bobby Green's performance? The broadcast said it looked better than ever. Against very tough.
Yeah. He looked slick, fast. Had the crowd on his side tonight. It was almost like he was from Houston. It was interesting. But yeah, no, Bobby looked good.
Yeah, I gotta get back.
Before this fight, he beat number 3. So does he immediately go straight up to that sort of level?
What's the question?
I'm ready for that takedown.
So does that mean he's guaranteed to be up with those guys, with the Cyril Garns, with the Francis and Garns?
Well, you guys are going to rank him, but yeah, I mean, he should be, you know, top 3, top 5. So wherever he shakes out in the rankings, yeah, he'll be mixing it up with those guys.
Were you surprised at his ability to take some of those punches, Derek?
No, he's got a good chin, man. I knew that those two were gonna bang it out. Somebody was gonna get caught with something, but you know, the elbows look good. He did take some big shots, and tonight was his night. It looked good.
Dana, over here. I'm fascinated to hear your thoughts on in boxing this whole heavyweight debacle we've seen over the last couple of weeks, right? I know that that's something that's kind of close to your heart because people won't shut up about Fury versus Ngannou. What did you make of all of this talk and all of this stuff happening at the top heavyweights? And is that kind of indicative of the problems you've spoken about in the sport?
Yeah. I mean, these guys are the fact that they're even talking about our guys shows you where it's at, you know. Boxing's been a mess for a long time, and it isn't going to get straightened up anytime soon.
Will you be rooting for Dillian White and Anthony Joshua? Because if you have to work with a boxer for Ngannou later, you'd rather work with Eddie Hearn than Al Heyman or Bob Arum?
I'm not doing jack shit with Bob Arum. But the other two guys I like. I like Al Heyman a lot, and I like Eddie Hearn very much.
Dana, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. A song came out a couple of weeks ago about yourself by your good pal Jake Paul. Have you heard it, and what's your thoughts?
I haven't seen it yet, no. Is it good?
The music video is pretty intense. Chris Cyborg's in it, Antonio McKee's in it.
What's intense mean? Is it good?
It's a pretty good song, I think.
Yeah, you like it?
The lads over there, the Elk Boys, I know.
I think you're full of shit. That's what I think.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
Hey, Dan, down here to your left.
I gotta see
how did you
that.
score the main event?
I think I had it. I think I had it 3-2.
For Izzy.
Yeah.
And what do you think Rob did well in this fight that he wasn't able to do in the first one?
Yeah, well, I thought he was going to shoot a lot more than he did. I thought he was going to go in for a lot more takedowns and really make Izzy work his wrestling. But you know, he was aggressive. He was obviously way more aggressive this time. Was able to take the shots that Izzy did hit him with. You know, I think he looked physically, mentally, and emotionally stronger in this fight than he did in the first one. You could tell in the first fight he was dealing with some issues and probably didn't have a great camp. And
Obviously, he's lost twice, but could you see? I mean, could you see a path where he could get a third fight if Adesanya is still the champ?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Sitting right here, right now, I don't know.
Last question. I never thought you'd be an Agent Orange fan.
Yeah, big Agent Orange fan. Yeah, big. AL3 played it for me tonight in there too.
I know that's what made.
Was that funny?
I didn't think Dana had a punk stage.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I was a punk once. Any other questions? Go ahead, sir.
One more.
Yes, sir.
Derek Lewis, he's always been a fighter that comes to fight, but he seems to always come up short just a little bit. What does Derek Lewis play out in the landscape?
Well, he doesn't always come up short. I mean,
not always.
Up until tonight, he was the number 3 ranked guy in the world, which is a big deal. He's got the most knockouts in heavyweight history. And, you know, he went in against a guy tonight who's on a 5-fight knockout streak. Younger, you know, he fought a 29-year-old guy tonight. Derek Lewis is a bad boy, man. He's been a lot of fun to have in our heavyweight division here in the UFC, and obviously very beloved here in the town of Houston and around the world. I mean, he's a pretty big star for us. And I would say the exact opposite. If you look at Derek Lewis coming into the UFC, I don't know if people would have expected him to do what he's accomplished here. You know, he's become a huge superstar and done some pretty great things.
I asked Derek Lewis once about winning the heavyweight championship here, and he said he just wanted to pay for his damn house.
Yeah, well, he did that.
Type of guy he is.
He definitely did that. Now, he's made some money, and he's made a nice life for himself. And he's a good human being. He's one of these guys that when bad things happen, he's out there helping other people. And you know, he's a big, scary-looking dude, but there's a big heart inside there. We like him a lot, and
Fuck is it lagging, bro?
what's next for him.
Danny, right in front of you back here.
Yep.
A lot of talking about the heavyweight division. Obviously, you said you had met with Francis. Is there any update on John Jones or Stipe? Is that a fight that we could see those two?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see here pretty soon how this all plays out. Jones,
Is it
Stipe,
Delos, sir?
Francis, and Ty now too. So, thank you.
Hey Dana, just at the back over
Yep.
here. We didn't get to see you after 270. I just wanted to ask you about Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo. I mean, I think nobody will complain if we saw those guys fight on every single pay-per-view. But do you think we'll see a full fight?
So he was just asking me if Adesanya and Whitaker would fight 3 times. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't disagree with you, man. I mean, that fight for a 4th time, and I don't think anybody would disagree. I don't know.
Let's go, baby.
I think the fans
Woo,
want it too. It's crazy.
champ.
It's one of those freak fights that works 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. I don't know. We'll see.
The bantamweight division as well is on fire at the moment. How impressed were you by Kyler Phillips and Douglas and Raj today?
Yeah, no, I mean, the card was great. It was a great night. It was a great night of fights. Everybody.
Dana over here.
Yeah.
Houston seems to be a really easy spot to host these events. Do you see us
I
coming
agree with
back?
you, sir.
Do you see us coming back here again this year?
I don't know. I don't know if we, probably. I don't know. We'll see. Again, we'll see. I told you guys a year ago, 2 years ago, whenever I told you, be Texas, Vegas, Florida for a while. So I was right. But like I said earlier, it seems like things are loosening up. So if that happens, start traveling around and having some fun again. So hopefully that's the case.
Hi, Dana, over here. Do we have an update on who the first full send fighter is?
Yeah, it'll come out on the show. Looking for a fight.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, just this week, Vegas is now open, no mask mandate anymore.
Yep.
Any plans? You mentioned maybe some more traveling, but any immediate plans for maybe moving some of the UFC fight nights in Vegas to allow more people, or?
Yeah. You mean more people in the Apex?
In the Apex or another venue, or?
Yeah. Borsari, how much more can we open up the Apex? How many more people can we fit in there?
Well, we're working on getting up to 750 in there. So.
There you go.
Nice.
It's in the